Everybody, welcome to Stack Your Points. Thanks for watching and listening. And this is the Friday Q&A segment. So your questions, we answer them, sometimes up to an hour, sometimes it creates its own episode in and of itself. So if you have questions, always feel free to drop them on the YouTube channel or email us at stackyourpoints@gmail.com. But we hope you enjoy this week's Q&A session. Thanks for watching and listening. Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. As always, I'm Matt from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined by RJ from Do You Take Cards? RJ, how are you this week?
It has rained in upstate New York at least for a minute every weekend since November of 2024. It has been over a half a year of there being some form of precipitation, either rain or snow, every weekend since November of 24. My grass is very green, but very heavy right now.
Very Seattle-like.
Yes.
There you go. And we're joined by Lonnie from the Call Me Lonnie YouTube channel. Lonnie, how are you today?
I'm doing all right. I am slightly without voice, so leave your comments in the comment. I know my voice sounds like I am auditioning for a 90s radio station for those that are old enough to remember that. I'm going to leave that right there because I just got hit in the face with some age right there.
You want to get hit in the face with some age like right there? I just looked at what albums turned 30 last year and it hurt my soul. Like Weezer's Blue album.
Goofy movie turned 30. And I love that movie.
Ow.
Yep.
Yeah, I just did that.
The part that hits me the most is my son now loves that movie. And I realized it's 30 years old.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a bit of, yeah, that's a pain point.
Don't forget, the first Jurassic Park came out in 1996 or something, I believe. So we're about to do this again next year. And I also need to go watch Jurassic Park again because it's literally one of my favorite movies of all time.
Why are you trying to hurt us, Lonnie? Because now I also feel very old. We all feel old.
A little bit. The power line transcends generations, and that's all that matters.
Powerline and Tevin Campbell.
Oh, there we go.
That's an underrated cult classic right there, man. I can't even lie. And we'll be right back after these messages.
There you go. And we're joined by Craig Kit Kat in the Discords of choice. Craig, how are you today?
I am doing well. It has been a weekend. The Pacers are in the Eastern Conference Finals. It was the Indy 500. I have put away more than my share of liquid that was not water, and it is a rough Monday.
Look, Matt, you can't just say Craig. It's either Kit Kat or it's top flight security of the world, comma, Craig.
100%.
Oh, well.
And if you get that, hit the like button. If not, Google it and you'll find it really fast.
Fun fact, my child is definitely afraid of the word Google. Visceral reaction to the word Google. All right, so let's jump into some questions. We've got viewer questions. Our first question this week comes via email from Christopher. So, Christopher, thanks for dropping us an email. Christopher's question summarizes with, he's gotten a notification from Capital One that they're going to close his Venture One account, and he asks, this brings up the question for everyone. If you had to spend on a card you don't use anymore, so he no longer uses this card, what purchase would you make to keep the card alive? I'm going to steal from everybody's favorite hack for the built card and just go with just purchase a single banana a month and you're good. Or, sorry, hold on. Let me take this even a step further into the absurd. A single banana every 6 months. Kit Kat or Top Flight Security. Craig, how would you approach this one?
I have nothing for the good of the order. You take that banana and you run with it.
Banana. All right, we're nearly at a Brendan Lee Mulligan. Please stop this for me. RJ, how would you approach this?
Whatever the next purchase that I have to make, like at a coffee shop or whatever, I don't put that much thought into it. If there's a card that I need to use, I'll use it. I don't have any cards that are truly sock drawer cards in terms I don't use them at all. Like, I have the Delta cards I probably use the least, but every once in a while there'll be a Amex offer where I'm like, I can do that. So I don't really ever get to a place where I haven't used a card in a year. I even just use my OG Freedom for Amazon because it's 5x Amazon right now. So everything gets used.
I have a card that is sitting and waiting for for me to get the email from Robinhood, and when I do, I'm going to ignore that email. Lonnie, if there's a card that you got a notification that you need to put some sort of spend on it, or else they're going to close the card, what would you do if you needed to keep the card?
The instructions are in the title. Just put some spend on it. I've gone through that scenario before. It's not that you have to do anything over the top. You don't need to go put $500 on it. Even the one time that Amex has said that one student card that I have that just sits around, hey, we're going to cancel if you don't use it. I think I put $1.99 on it, and that was 7 years ago, and they still haven't closed it yet. So literally walk by a vending machine and tap it and just pay someone the favor. Hey, here's a 20-ounce bottle of Coke if you want it or not. I don't really care. I just want to keep my credit card open.
Yep.
Do you have that card in your online management for Amex that you have to see every time you're swiping through?
It's not hidden, so yeah.
I don't know what that brings me joy in a just a delightful way.
At the same time, though, so Amex is not immune to anything. And when you start having as many cards as most of us do, I'm not going to lie, I've had identity or credit card fraud cases before where I've been at work and next thing someone's bought gas at a gas station in Texas. And if I didn't check my account, I would not have missed it. Or especially let's say it's one of the cards that I actually do use often, and then there's one of those unauthorized charges that kind of gets mixed into the fold there. By keeping it, even though it always says zero, if it says anything other than zero, then yeah, red alert. As long as it says zero, I don't really care. I don't have that many cards where it's not like every time I open up my account, it's a taking up real estate on my screen or anything. Don't really care. And like I said, it's an Amex card that now earns MR points, so it gets the Amex offers. So every so often it gets one of those. This is the only card that's going to get this particular offer. It never works out in my favor. It's never a great offer, but I noticed that sometimes, yes, it will get one of those offers.
Yeah, the card in question for Christopher was a Venture 1, and he wants to keep it just in case he decides to cancel the Venture X. There's ways I'm pretty sure you can downgrade the Venture X. Even if you can't downgrade the Venture X, if you're going to cancel the Venture X, next purchase or a small purchase you want to keep in mind just to keep the line open. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be a 5-star hotel or a long retreat to the Indy 500 or the next IndyCar event or the next Grand Prix. No, just keep it open however you see fit. Can be a banana, can be coffee, can be that Coke paying it forward.
Also, Christopher, you can just downgrade your Venture X if you don't want it anymore. You don't have to keep two cards open. Just downgrade the Venture X.
Boom.
Yep. And if the bank closes that Venture 1, hey, it's going to stay on your report for 10 years. You're good. Long as they close it and you're in good standing, you get the 10 years. So there you go. Thanks, Christopher, for that. And you can always send us questions via email. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Our next question comes from RP2048, who asks, how many ecosystems is too many? Craig, I'll throw to you first for this one. How many ecosystems is too many?
I think this is solely dependent upon how much work you want to do and how you travel. In the scenario that, let's say that you have no true airline affinity or no true airline that you were tied down to for personal travel, almost all of our cards transfer to Virgin. They transfer to Air Canada and to Avios, and these systems play really nicely. So it becomes more broad, or to narrow it down from such a broad feeling. What ecosystems do you really care about? For me, I focus on Chase, Amex, and AA, right? And specifically for Chase, it's for small one-off Hyatt redemptions. For Amex right now, it's for transferring over to Alaska or the occasional Hilton redemption. But if we're not really thinking about independent or exclusive transfer partners, I really don't think that there's a right answer to that, because if you're just pooling your points together, now, for example, if you're in a regional airport like RJ, there are some limitations to what you might want to focus on, but depending on how you want to do redemptions, it's not really a right or wrong answer there. I think the bigger answer there is how much do you want to inject cash back into your setup, and how often can you really think about the overarching cross play between transfer partners. We have a really nice spreadsheet that we set up and we've shared in the Discord a few times, but you see a lot of overlap with a lot of these partners that these transferable currencies have. So for me, I think it really boils down to what is your tolerance for pooling points together and trying to track transfer bonuses, and what is going to be a bigger use or better use of your time. Because at a certain point, I don't particularly care to transfer and balance. Oh, there's a 20% bonus here at Chase for Virgin, and there's a 6% bonus in Capital One. What is going to be easiest or best use of your mental capabilities and your mental load? So for me, I just boiled it down to the three: Chase, Amex, AA. And for those reasons, because I can't get those points anywhere else but either spending on those cards or flying on those planes.
Makes a lot of sense. Lonnie, is there such thing as too many ecosystems?
Absolutely. And I'm going to follow up with Kid Kat on a lot of what he said as well. But how many ecosystems are there? 7 or 9 or whatever that is. So, yeah, 10 is too many ecosystems. Whatever the actual number is out there, add 1 to it, and that's too many. But to piggyback on everything that Kid Kat / Craig said, I would say the real answer is find out what works best for you. And I've talked about this myself as well, where I'm primarily in 2 ecosystems, 2 plus built, but built basically transfers to anyone, all my partners that I would want to. So it's not really in an ecosystem, but it's in a strategy. And that's what works for me. And when I really stop and think about all the places that I want to go, me personally, that I want to go, and anything that's not on that list, I can still get there between Amex and Chase and Built. It's one of the main reasons why I don't need to go into Capital One. I don't need to go into City and Discover. And now I'm just saying Wells Fargo, saying things out loud, because at some point, we're just like your credit cards. Once you have too many, you start getting bonus categories that overlap. Once you get into too many ecosystems, you're going to get into transfer partners or travel portals or any aspect of your travel strategy on how you're trying to get from point A to point B and back to point A again. Those are going to overlap. And so it's, as Craig had mentioned, instead of putting all that effort in, and now I need to figure out, ooh, which one am I going to use today? Which one am I going to do? No, I'd rather just keep it simple. All my boxes are checked. I don't need another ecosystem, and I can focus that spin on the ones that actually do matter to me and build those up so I can have enhanced travel, vacations, experiences, perks, benefits, whatever you want to put your bottom dollar on in those ecosystems that matter. And like I said, for me, it's 2 plus built, but for someone else, it could be 4. It could be 1 ecosystem. Throwing RJ under the bus, but she's very heavy into Amex. She can get a lot done just staying in 1 ecosystem. So it's completely up to you in that regard.
Nope, makes sense. RJ, is there such thing as too many ecosystems?
Yeah, there's definitely the thing of too many ecosystems, and I think that's when you get the delusion, right? If you're into Hyatt or you're into Hilton or you're into Delta or you're into United, which outside of Built, those are all pretty much locked into one major carrier, right? So if you prioritize Hyatt and Delta, and then going with Citi and Wells Fargo and Capital One plus Chase and Amex, like, why? Now, you might have a very logical reason for why. Sometimes I like to do Virgin or do Choice or whatever. Okay, that makes sense. But you have to have a reason for what you're doing. And you have to prioritize things. Prioritize the issuers with those exclusive partners and then take a look at everything else. Because you might actually be able to cut down on how many you track if you just say, I don't need to chase the transfer bonus, Lonnie was saying. Yeah, if I'm in 4 ecosystems, I have a bigger chance of getting a transfer bonus but you also have to deal with having 4 cards. And if you don't have points, like I don't have a lot of Chase points right now. I think I have 900. I don't have the CSP anymore anyway, but say I did. If I have 900, does it matter if there's a transfer bonus with Chase to something? No, because I don't have a lot of points. But if I get a Hilton transfer bonus with Amex, I can actually move like 100,000 points if I really wanted to. So the problem with being in a bunch of ecosystems, even if the partners overlap, is if you don't put a lot of spend on there, you won't be able to transfer. But if you're dividing up your spend, then you actually can't output what you want to be able to output without a really high level of spend. Now, if you're spending 300,000 on your credit cards every year, this doesn't matter, right? Because you can divide that spend up to get a decent amount of points. But for most people, and most people don't do that, even if they have a higher net worth, like you have to target where your spend is so you have a decent amount of points that when those transfer bonuses come, you're able to actually move enough points for it to move the needle in any real way.
Oh, that definitely makes sense. For me, in the travel side of things, I don't think that as long as your ecosystems, to RJ's point, make sense for how you're planning on doing your spend, you're there isn't really a limit necessarily. If you are someone who does United and will throw in Virgin and throw in like Choice from time to time, yeah, it would make sense that you're in Chase and American Express, or not American Express, sorry. No, American Express transfers to Choice. No, they don't. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Sorry, I was confusing Choice and IHG there. But if you're someone who does United and Choice, Chase makes a lot of sense for United, obviously. And then for Choice, you can do Amex, you can do Citi, you can do Capital One, you can do Wells Fargo. So if you want to play in all those ecosystems, you can. There is a diminishing returns, as RJ mentioned. You have to have the number of points. With the exception of Wells Fargo, you do have to have at least 1,000 points in all of your accounts to transfer over. With cash back, I think it gets a little bit more, it can get a bit more interesting just because there are so many cards in cash back that can give you 5% this, 5% that, 5% this other thing. And if you're willing to do the jump through the hoops to 5x all the things, great. And there's additional capabilities with US Bank with their Smartly program. If you're willing to park $100,000 into a savings account, no, it's a checking account. Sorry, park $100,000 into a checking account now, or do platinum honors with Bank of America. Then you get expanded choices. So I think on like the cash back side of things, there can be a feeling of too many ecosystems because like Comenity and Synchrony can jump into the fray there with 5% 5% cards, some of which can be powerful, like the AAA cards. But in terms of travel, if you've got your partners picked and you know where your points are going to go, part of why we emphasize the notion of picking your partners is it simplifies your setup and then you don't have to jump into too many ecosystems. It makes your life that much easier. Or just join Rove. You don't have to join Rove. Anyway, so thanks, RP. We'll move over to our next question, which comes from M2K, who asks, would you fly economy if it meant traveling to more destinations? RJ, as our resident first class and first class only flyer, would you fly economy if it meant traveling to more places?
No. No, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Like, is it bougie? Maybe. I don't know. But I have if I'm going to leave my house, I have certain requirements that must be met for me to leave my house because I'm comfortable at my house. I like my house. I got my computers. I have my big TV. I got my bed. If I'm going to get to leave my house, drive the long distance to the airport and get on a plane, I have a certain level for which I will do that thing. For me, it is first class. Now, look, it's domestic first class. It doesn't hold a candle to international. Fine, whatever. I'm not flying international, so I don't care what international has because I'm not going to see it anyway. I have a certain level of what I like: a comfy seat. I am a large woman. I like a comfy seat. I like I like the service. Delta, I've had really good luck with Delta and the flight attendants. And this is how I like to travel. I'll also, when I get to the Hilton, it'll be in a standard room and I'll be happy that it's a setup. So I'm odd that way. I get it. But yeah, no, could probably do another flight, but no, I like my first class. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me the chance to say no. Thank you.
Totally fair. Lonnie?
One, I gotta applaud RJ's bougie because I'm about to follow up with my own little bit of bougie as well, because I 100% totally agree, but I will add an asterisk. And that asterisk is, where am I flying to? So if it meant more destinations, probably not, because to me, more destinations means I need my passport. And if I'm using my passport, then I want to sit in the front because I need to be comfortable. RJ called out her body size. I don't know how to follow that one up. I'm almost 6 feet tall. I am when I put my shoes on. Like, I'm that type of person, like 5'11" and 3/4. I can easily fit in economy, but my knees don't, which is why I always sit in the aisle seat. And at the same time, I've already been spoiled with economy plus from United for I don't know how long, where I can't tell you the last time I sat behind like row 10. And I'm not making that up. I'm literally being real, because with status, you just get free economy plus. I usually sit in like the 8th row of the airplane. And that's like far back to me. And even if I were to buy economy, once again, just going back to RJ's point and the last point that Craig had made in his last answer, is how much work are you willing to put in? Because even when I get my free economy plus, I'm in there. The first thing I'm doing is using my plus point, seeing if I can get an upgrade. If they already don't give me a free upgrade, then I'm calling in. Yo, I'm 1K for X amount of time. Like, where's my upgrade? Or I got my family with me. How can we get it? Can I buy it? Can I use miles? I'm sitting on too many miles all the time anyway. Can I just use miles and get a free upgrade? Or in that case, it wouldn't be free, but a guaranteed upgrade is what I'm saying. And then I'm putting that work in. So to answer the question, no, I'd rather just buy in the front. Now, I won't, if it's domestic, like I said, it does depend on the destination. If I'm flying within the lower 48, at worst, I can do a 6-hour flight in economy plus, aisle seat, one leg kicked out into the aisle almost the entire time now. And for all that know, East Coast to West Coast is about 5.5, 6 hours, depending on which direction you're flying. And then West Coast to Hawaii is also a 6-hour flight. I've done that in economy plus. I'm fine with that. Standard economy, where they take what now is 5 inches, almost 5.5 inches away from you in the knees. Can't do it. Cannot do it. Even in economy plus, I'm the jerk that puts my backpack in the overhead bin because I need the space under my seat for my other foot. So no, I cannot and I will not say I am. I do not like green eggs and ham.
Love that book.
Early running for a show title. Nope, makes sense. Kit Kat, your thoughts here?
I'm going to echo almost everything Lonnie said, but flip it from United to AA. I have not flown basic economy or in a standard economy seat since before grad school. So we're talking 2017. I am 6'5" and I am broad, right? If we're being real, I'm built like a slice of pizza. That's what my wife tells me. I'm a 54 in the chest and I'm a 38 in the waist. I am wide. So even if I had the leg space, my shoulders don't fit. Now, granted, my wife, she's 5 foot. She says she's 5'1", she's 5 foot. She doesn't care. She doesn't care a single bit. I do. Even if I can't book a flight in first class, I'm in economy plus. Same thing on United. I have United Gold status, which I found out means less than you think. But similar to Lonnie, my backpack is going in the overhead. I'm sorry about it. You should have had better status. You should have got on the plane earlier. And I'll say this with my son, if it's just me or my wife, we'll see what the time frame looks like. But if it's with my son, I will take a later flight or an earlier flight just to make sure we are in first, because I'm not doing that. I'm not going to subject him to having to board afterwards and be in that long line. Now, granted, with executive platinum status executive platinum, we have pre-boarding now, so yeah, we're like 1K, we're fancy. But I also don't want to be in an economy seat and have people do the weird butt shuffle past my face as I sit in the aisle for 20 minutes. And inevitably, somebody's going to pass gas right past me. But at least if I'm in first class, I'm in a window seat. The stink has a while to get to me. But I think it depends, right? And even to Lonnie's point, I'm center of the country right now, right? We're in the Midwest. It's not too bad to get to either side of the country, but even for domestic flights that we want to do what's called the milk run for Alaska, where you hit 7 airports along that road. That's a 14-hour flight. I have no desire to sit in anything that's not first class. So for me, it's a hard no. I will admit, for work, if I don't get an upgrade, because flying in and out of Philly or Charlotte, you go up against some whales and a lot of concierge key members. Sometimes you just don't get it. But unless it's a regional jet and there's just no first class, I just won't be taking that flight.
And again, if I'm known for anything on this podcast, the CRJ is a reminder that Canada hates you.
It is. I have to go to
Matt,
Bangor in July from Philly, and it is on a CRJ 170.
I have to
Don't-
fly CRJs all of the time. They are not that bad. Now, granted, I am 5'8". There's that.
RJ,
But
this
like,
CRJ doesn't even have first class. The only extended legroom seat is the
oh
one
no,
emergency
sorry, I'm on a
class.
CRJ 900. Never mind.
Yeah, this is the 170.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, no. But yeah, I have to take CRJs a lot.
I'll take
was
my
good.
Embraer and I'll be happy.
170 is nice.
Can I
I
just give
don't.
credit to Craig real quick? Because he came out the gate on that answer with 3 potential title answers. And this episode is built like a pizza is kind of sticking with me at the moment.
I currently have that as the title.
There you go. Yeah, flying economy, if it meant traveling to more destinations, if we're talking standard economy, no. No, like my co-host, I would much rather be in premium economy plus whatever that level is. Like I will book a standard economy, like a JetBlue blue flight, and then pay a small amount of money to move into preferred seating so that I get the extra legroom. Like if I have to do that, continually do that's fine. I'll pay my points for the blue and then move from there. I don't want to pay. I am not going to fly basic economy if it means traveling more, especially if it's anywhere on the East Coast. I'll just turn that into a 2-day drive. I don't care. If I'm going to drive down to the Gulf Coast, don't know why I would right now, but if I were to go to the Gulf Coast, I'm going to drive to the Gulf Coast. It's going to take me about 2 days to get there, but I'd rather do that. Yeah, if I'm going into the Midwest, again, day and a half, 2-day drive, I could probably do that. I would do the stereotypical old road trip as opposed to, oh, it's a quick flight. Yeah, but it's a quick flight on a CRJ like 800. Okay, cool. The 800 is not bad, but the CRJ to me is just a reminder that Canada secretly hates us.
It's no secret anymore.
Also,
Oh no, they're way more open about it now.
it's fine. Also, viewers, all of us are over 30. If you're 22 and
Oh,
you
go
sleep
for it.
on the floor at like a friend's house, like after a party, and wake up and feel fine after downing gallons of things, this is not the conversation for you. Go sit in economy, you'll be fine. Your body is young and will recover quickly. We are all to the point where we'll pay for comfort. And that's ultimately what this question is. Will you pay to be more comfortable? And all of us will pay to be more comfortable because that is a thing that tends to happen with age.
Yeah, and part of why I've jumped into the points of miles game is though that when I do the international flights, I'm not sitting in basic economy for an international flight. I'm done. I paid my dues. I want to sit in comfort and, dare I say, luxury at some point.
Ooh la la.
And even though I've never stood next to RJ, she did admit she's 5'8". I have seen Matt in person, so I know how tall he is. And Kit Kat just said he's taller than me. Height matters, and height is not built for economy. Like, I have a friend that's literally like Craig said, his wife is 5 foot. This girl is 4'10" and she's happy about it and she can sit Indian style in an economy seat, there's no reason for her to pay for anything else. So she's very happy with it. And every time she tells me that, I'm like, you have no idea how much you upset me every time you say that, because I have to buy space. I can't just accept the space that's given to me. I actually need extra space. And that goes with my age and my tenure and the strain I've put on my knees over these decades on this earth, where they cannot be in 90 degrees for 12 hours. It just can't do it. I got to stretch them out.
Yep. And part of why Frontier, Spirit, Allegiant, Sun Country, all of those airlines have never been an appeal to me is I don't want to sit in those seats. And I would much rather sit in seats that I will be comfortable in, as opposed to the flying bus that is Spirit.
Are any of us old enough for compression socks and tennis balls yet? Are we all okay?
Every time I fly.
I have used compression socks, yes.
I'm not there yet. But I was just asking, or is anyone else there?
Dude,
Real close.
Lululemon compression socks, the company, not so great. The socks, amazing. I've had a pair for 2 years. Elastic is still great. You take them off as soon as you get off the flight, your legs are like brand new.
And now we'll go to our next message from our sponsor. Use the code Craig for 10% off.
There we go. M2K, thanks for that. Our next question comes from Jason, who asks, is there a card that you know you have no real use for, but for any irrational reason, you just want to get because you like the idea of it? For me, it's the Chase Aeroplane card. I don't see myself putting all my dining and groceries on it, but the mechanics of the card and its unique way with points for all travel, pay with points for all travel, and 500 points for spending $2,000 per month, that mini sub, all seems great. I'll start with this. This is a mailer I received for the Business Platinum card. I have no practical use for the Business Platinum card. I can't hit the sub for the Business Platinum card. Let me just tell you right now, if I could hit the sub for the Business Platinum card, I will take the 250,000 points that are targeted at me. I will transfer those over to Hilton so fast I will never use the Business Platinum again. I'll cancel it after a year just to make sure that I don't get my points clawed back. I have no reason to get the Business Platinum. None. I want those points and I want to transfer them to Hilton. That's it. So that would be I have no use for this card. It's irrational for me to try to think and convince myself to get this card, but I want the points.
They just bought the Hilton points and they're doing 100% bonus offer. It's ridiculously less than that welcome spend.
100%.
Oh yeah, no. I will absolutely do that next time. I can choose to buy 1 million Hilton points. That is the far easier way to go. But man, 500,000 Hilton points after 540,000 Hilton points on 20K spend. It's intriguing, but I ain't doing that. I'm smart. I'm not. No.
It
I'm not
actually
just
might
going to
be
open a card.
more because 1.5 on over 5K purchases. So
Depending
what
on
you do, you
what I
actually
do,
might get
yeah.
more. See, Matt,
But-
it's making sense right before your very eyes.
Boom. There we go.
I need a Business Platinum. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Lonnie, any cards that are just irrational for you to get, have no reason to get them whatsoever, but man, you just want one?
Before I jump into that, you could technically get your Business Platinum and use that card to pay rent/mortgage through Built, and you might would come within a shooting distance of hitting your spin and getting that 1.5, depending on how much you pay for rent/and/or mortgage.
When Built starts doing business rent, that's when they're going to start making money.
Who knows? Anyway.
Not never. Not the way they're going.
So a card that I have no use for, but no. I'm not going to waste that energy and put it out there for nothing. I'm going to file that and F around and find out. And if you're out there just raw dogging applications, you're going to get stuck with something that you don't want. And it might not be the card. It might be what comes with the card. So I don't recommend doing that. And my answer is no. And in my personal recommendation for anyone listening, it would be to 100% do your research first. I know that's a cliche statement, but it's an honest one. And see what is it that you're getting into the card, but also what can you get? What are you going to get out of it? If it's a smash and grab card, now I am fully on for smash and grab strategy. If you want to get a card for 1 year and then run that sucker out, let's call it United Mileage Plus Explorer card that waives the annual fee for you that first year. And that 1 year, you're going to just be on United 9 times. And after that, you're good. Yeah, smash and grab. I'm okay with that. But just to be like, oh, I want the card and you have no use for it, you have no space for it, or no way to use those points, or even if you did get those points, you got your sign up bonus, you got the points, but now you're not going to use any of your transferable points, and maybe you don't have any transferable points because you're not in one of those ecosystems to get to that card to continue using it. Yeah, that's F around and find out, and then you're just going to be sitting there like, why did I do this? And you don't need that realization on a Sunday morning. So no, I don't recommend it, and personally, no, I haven't been in that position where I've done that to myself.
Yep. Because then you're just sitting there with the Hilton business card. No, sorry. Then you're just sitting there with the Hyatt business card.
I was going to say, Matt, the Hilton business card is
not even
fantastic.
Strays.
Let the record show that Matt is throwing strays at our absent co-host, and I am going to stand up for my boy. You can't shoot him down when he's not here, Matt. That is not allowed.
Unfair. I didn't even get the dang hotel chain right. Anyway, raw dogging applications also now a possible show title. Sorry, it's just so fun. Anyway, Kit Kat,
It won't get a YouTube strike.
Nope, sure won't. Kit Kat, any irrational cards that you just want, but there's no reason whatsoever for you to have it?
Not anymore. So 2 cards that unfortunately have become that. Got the United Club card last year with that 4,000 point, was it PQP? Because I thought that we could use United for work. Turns out we signed a contract for AA quite literally 2 weeks after that. So that made all United travel absolutely pointless. But I'm now UA Gold, so that's cool. So hindsight's 2020 there. And then I'm going to summon the most vengeful math god in the world, Spaceco. Unfortunately, US bar isn't that great. I know. Let's pause for dramatic effect. Got that card for my wife. It's her card, right? She had a Cash Plus. We product changed it. And quite literally a month and a half later, we got the Venture X, and she said, "Yeah, I don't want to use my Google Wallet. I forget that I can use that." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine. Here's the Venture X. Go and put anything and everything you want on there, or here's the BBP." But yeah, hindsight's 2020 on those cards. When I really look back at it, to Lonnie's point, there was absolutely no reason to get those cards. Now, for the United Club, it's now just a smash and grab. I think I've been on 1 United flight since then, so fun. But as far as cards that I want for absolutely no reason, we've talked about this. I'm grabbing the Business Platinum next month, but that's because we need to replace our kitchen floors, and our contractor is letting us purchase materials, so we'll get 1.5 back on that. But otherwise, no. Also, Matt, I have the perfect offer for you: 120 for 10. Boom.
A little bit more my current spending habits, but right now I'd be doing business, not business spends. So there be that. If I had a way to justify the 20K spend, I absolutely would. But
I don't want to justify. I just found out that there's no subfloor and our dishwasher was leaking down through the basement.
No, see, you have to do that. That is not that is a need. I just want. So until want becomes a need, nah, man. Plus 20 grand in 3 months, that is.
Oh, it's steep. I don't care who you are.
Yup.
It's steep.
Yup. And again, I've been doing it for business, not for business. So
6 months. Oh, hey, that's doable.
I could finagle it. Yeah, I could make that work. I could do 6 months. No problem. Like give me the personal length of time with the business level of spend. I could maybe make it work, but no.
Y'all just need to get in the pin game. Apparently, the pin game is where you spend oodles of money and turn over inventory.
Josh, if you're still sitting middle row, middle seat back of the plane, after the gains you've been making in the pin game. We're going to have a discussion.
He's got to hide from the Disney adults. They are dangerous animals.
No comment. RJ, do you have an irrational card that you have no use for, but you just want?
Yes. 3x restaurants, 3x travel, 3x gas and EV charging, 3x transit, and 3x streaming in an ecosystem that I can do nothing with. Matt, would you like to guess what this card is?
That weirdly sounds like my autograph.
It is your autograph. And if that was an MR earning card, I would have 7 of them. Like, I would have one for every day of the week. I would hand them out as tips at restaurants. I want that card, but I can't do anything with it, and I'm not a portal person, so I don't really using portals. I'll use the Delta one if they're giving MQDs, and that's about as far as I go. So I don't want to just shift things to choice because choice is not my first choice. So yeah, I can't use it really, but man, if that card earned in a ecosystem I liked, I would be so far on it. Even if it had travel eraser, like even if it did the Capital One thing and I could just travel erase with it, I would, but I don't want to stake and credit it.
See, here's the thing, though. You already have that card, with the exception of the streaming. You just pay $150 for the privilege of holding that card.
What, the Surpass?
I was talking more about the green, but
I don't
sure.
have the green anymore.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. You can get that card from American Express. You can have that card give you membership reward points. You just have to give American Express $150 for the privilege, whereas I give Wells Fargo none of my money.
Matt, I drive an electric vehicle. I don't have a card in American Express's lineup that lets me pay for charging an electric vehicle.
Does the Surpass not code EV as gas?
No, nothing
No.
on Amex does.
Oh, that's crazy.
I
Yep.
mean, I use the Hilton Business and get 5x, so it's fine, but there's no elevated categories for it.
Look, long as that Wawa has a gas pump at it, my autograph still gets 3x when I go and get the ready to eat stuff.
I wish we had Wawa up here, but I'll handle Stewart's.
There's one opening in Indy, and you all have no idea how excited I am. This gobbler has been on my mind for a year now.
I do deeply enjoy that the Pope has been to Wawa. That is my favorite, just random fact that you might have passed the Pope at a Wawa.
Or
I miss Wawa. Sorry, I miss Hoagie Fest. I miss being able to eat sheets ready to eat stuff as well, or made to order stuff as well. Anyway, it's fine too. But yeah, when you go inside the gas station to buy whatever you have to buy inside, you still get the 3x. So anyway, we'll move on. Thanks, Jason, for that. Our last question comes from Double Animal Fries. This is a carryover from our live on Thursday, who asks, if your choice of credit cards were people, which Futurama characters would they be and why? Kit Kat, your cards, who would they be and why?
I'm only going to talk about 2. And as we all know, I'm the 5-star general of the Big Back Army. The gold card would be Hedonist Bob, because for obvious reasons, it is gold and we buy a lot of food. The second card is the Saber 1, and it would be Bender when he turned into a human. Because, yeah, we all know I spend an unfortunate amount of money on food. And I think that pretty much sums that up for me.
All right, that's fair. Yeah. I forgot hedonism. Oh, wait. Sorry. Gold card. He regrets nothing.
I regret having 2 of them, if that means anything for you.
Well, American Express put caps on things, and you said, "Oh, no, we're going to double this up." Sorry.
No, they just gave me a 100K offer with no lifetime language. That was the only reason.
100K points is 100K points.
You're still getting yours. You're still getting yours. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a loss in your world.
Oh, no, fair.
Lonnie, any of your credit cards Futurama characters? If so, which and why?
Oh, yeah, because Futurama is one of my favorite shows in the history of television and probably one of the best written shows period. We don't need to argue. Go argue with your mama. Leave. Don't even bring it over here. I can't hear you. But yeah, so let's go ahead and run a couple of these down because I really thought about this question. So Fry would be my gold card. One, because it's like the staple. It's the good, stable card, and it's been around for 1,000 years. My built card would be Farnsworth. And that's because it is a good card, but like most people, you don't understand it. So,
Good news, everyone. We've done another devaluation that we don't know, that we're just letting you know about now.
Would be my Business Unlimited because one, it's an ink card, but the other part is it doesn't actually do much, but it's just fun to have around. Leela would be my Mileage Plus United card because Mileage Plus Explorer only has one eye in it. And Bender is going to be my CSR. And it's just Bender, man. It's made out of metal. Let's just keep it real. It had that swagger to it. So you got to get Bender. Nibbler, very similar to Craig, but that's going to be my Aspire card because that card eats everything. It's such a great card, and it literally poops out fuel in the form of free night certificates. So that's Nibbler. Amy is going to be my IHG Premier because it's a luxury card that basically gets down with everyone. So, yeah, did that. Zach Brannigan is going to be my Amex Platinum card. And that one is because you don't actually want it, but it'll get you in a vulnerable moment. And my last one would be Kith as my Freedom Unlimited because it's only great at a few things and it's comfortable and squishy to have around.
I respect
There you go.
That's very thorough, and I appreciate it.
Now I'm going to go watch all the seasons because I still have them on DVD. Showing age again, RJ. I actually have them all on DVD, even though I have ad-free Hulu.
I have them all on my iPad because I actually bought them from Apple just so I have them if they're ever taken off of streaming.
There we go. RJ.
I don't know how to follow that.
It's really hard.
I will say that I had my platinum as Amy simply because I feel like her parents would have the Centurion and they would give her the platinum because they want to make sure that she's comfortable, but they don't want to give her the Centurion card. So like she would have the platinum. And then Bender is the business platinum, but it's not in his name, it's in the professor's name because he would never have a credit card in his name. So those are the two that I had that Lonnie didn't absolutely destroy. Amazing job, though.
Good news, everyone.
Has an 849 credit score.
Wait, who has the 849?
Bender. He's got perfect credit. He just never uses his own.
Yeah, because he uses but everybody else's credit score is in like the 500s because he has ruined their credit.
He's 80% perfect credit.
I really want somebody to mock up the Centurion with Mom as the middle pitcher. I really need that in my life.
Chat GPT. I've already, so I would just put my whole wallet, all my cards, just because I'm going to associate my wallet just as Morbo. It thinks it's really good at lots of things, or Annihilation. It just talks a big game, and there's not a whole lot of substance behind it. So what happens when you have a Wells Fargo wallet?
I feel like that's a big shot at Morbo, and Morbo's a great guy. Just saying.
Look, if his people ever came to truly destroy the Earth, I'd believe it a lot more. All right, so
transport partners, I'll give you that.
Yeah. Yep, that's where we're with Wells. So that'll do it for topics. Thanks everyone for those. You can now find us at the Stack Your Points website. We have a website now. Mentioned on the Thursday Live, stackyourpoints.com. That will have all the way to contact us, all of our YouTube channels, everything that you possibly want for finding out more about the podcast. Stackyourpoints.com. Check it out. And once again, stackyourpoints.com. All one word. Lonnie, any final thoughts?
No, today's been a fun episode. It was a lot of fun. But you can find me, and I know that's your next question, You can find me, I guess, now on our website, which is all one word, stackyourpoints.com, or on my YouTube channel, which is all one word, call me Lonnie, no.com. But Lonnie is spelled Lani, or in the Stack Your Points Discord.
If you
Yep.
go to stackyourpoints.com, you will find a link to Call Me Lonnie, all one word, on said stackyourpoints.com.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. All of our channels, all of our associated channels are over there. The Discord link is in there. I don't know if it's an invite link because we'd have
It
to
is an
update that
invite.
every two.
No, I
Okay.
can do it forever.
Oh, perfect. So join the Discord via stackyourpoints.com. If you want to contact us, stackyourpoints.com. Craig, any final thoughts from you?
No, just had a great time. Glad you all brought me back. Always happy to be a contributing member.
We enjoy having you here, and thank you so much for taking the time. RJ, any final thoughts?
I'm just glad Craig is going to be with us for a little while because he's awesome and it makes me happy when we get to hear differing opinions. And now we have our resident AA guy because we got Delta, United, kind of JetBlue when Matt decides that he wants to commit to something. And now we have AA. So we're covering all of the colors of the travel world on the airline side.
Commitment's a social construct. Who needs it?
Now we just need Southwest and we can be Captain Planet.
Do we need Southwest?
RJ, you're getting really close to throwing a stray. I called
I'm
out
not
Matt.
even I'm not even going there, all right? I just meant as a company, I don't think the venture capitalists are gonna let Southwest continue
I'm
very
throwing
long.
up the Kevlar for my boy. You're getting really close to throwing a stray.
Secret Service line, and I appreciate it.
Look, if Elliott Management further destroys the company, it's not on any of us. Anyway. Final thoughts here. Just join us on the live this week. We'll be live on Thursday and every Thursday we can, 8:30 p.m. or later, depending on whatever's happening in my life or RJ's life. 8:30 p.m. Check out stackyourpoints.com. Brand new website. We're very excited about it. Check out the Discord. Check out the various things. But we will see you next week. Thanks for your time. Bye for now.